Hi, I'm Kristen Connolly. I'm the elected clerk recorder and registrar voters here in Contra Costa County. Over the next 2 months, high school students will be interviewing elected officials of their choice to learn more about their work. We hope you will enjoy this series we're calling Democracy Dialogues.
Welcome. My name is Charlie Walters. I am a recently graduated senior at Northgate High School, and I will be attending George Washington University next year. Today, I have the opportunity to speak with Board of Supervisor member Ken Carlson. He represents District 4, which happens to be my district. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, and congratulations on George Washington.
Appreciate it.
For you.
Thank you. So my first question for you is, what do you see as the role of the Board of Supervisors?
Really, it's being in charge of the county. All the services the county provide, all the infrastructure that we're responsible for. It's making those hard decisions about how the county is going to operate going forward, and we're planning for our future.
So you are the first openly gay member of the County Board of Supervisors. What does this mean to you, and what are you trying to promote for future generations?
It really is all about diversity, equity, inclusion. I was very afraid for a long time to get out there and involved and be open about who and what I am. And that took a little bit to get over. Now it feels like there's quite a burden to shoulder because you want to set the example. The work I'm doing, I stand on the shoulders of so many that did activism and hard work before me. And so, one, I want to carry that on. But truly, it's not about just LGBTQIA, it's about everybody. And everybody having a voice, everybody being included in everything we do, and in the world in general.
Yeah, so staying on that similar topic, across the country we see LGBTQ students particularly coming under attack. What are you and the board doing to protect our gay and trans students, both in schools and then in our community?
We're continuing to find partnerships and to support our programs. We're creating the Office of Racial Equity and Social Justice, where whether it's within the county structure itself or out in the broader world, our community benefit organizations, everybody has an eye on equity, inclusion, social justice. Everybody has an equal voice. Everybody has a chance to participate fully. And that's really it. It's just getting the message out and clearly standing our ground and saying that unacceptable behavior, discrimination, marginalization is not acceptable. Absolutely. And that's the platform we will continue to work. It's broader than even the LGBTQIA.
Yes, absolutely. I love to hear that. So pivoting a little bit, Contra Costa County is a county with broad socioeconomic levels. You see much more affluent communities and then less affluent communities all across the county. When you are crafting policies on the Board of Supervisors, how do you take into perspective and make sure you craft policies that benefit all members of the county and not just one specific economic level?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's something you have to find in the work you do in politics in general, is how can you do the best with the least amount of harm, right?
Yeah.
How can you accomplish the goals that the entire county thrives? And that's just, it really is the core of the work you do. You've got to think about and uplift those. Many are able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Those more affluent communities, they're taking care of themselves, they're supporting themselves. Now, there might be constituents or community members who aren't. So all the work we do just has to be uplifting and supportive. Are you doing harm by picking one community or one geographic area or one population over another? You got to find that balance.
Absolutely. One area where I've seen this kind of difference play out is in our schools. So I went to Northgate High School, which is in Mount Diablo Unified School District. And in my district alone, when visiting other schools and talking with friends, I've seen how different schools, maybe in more affluent areas, have more opportunities than the other schools when it comes to classes, extracurriculars, things like that. How can the board make sure that every student has the best opportunity to advance, to go to college, go to trade school, and set themselves up for success?
Well, the unfortunate part is that the Board of Supervisors doesn't have a direct impact on the education system. but all those supporting organizations, all the support we can provide. So when we look at economic development, bringing industry that brings apprentice programs, trade programs, other pathways to educational opportunities, those things need to be there. So when we're doing, let's say, we're trying to provide housing security. We want to prevent homelessness. So can we create and partner to create educational pathways, supportive programming to get people other opportunities that might not be a college path.
Yes.
It might be a trade school. It might be an apprentice program. Those types of things. So we're always looking for those opportunities. So, when we're doing healthcare, when we're doing housing, when we are doing economic development, how does that all play in? How can we provide opportunities going forward for our youth?
Absolutely. I think there's such a kind of stigma, especially around here, about once you're done with high school, college is the next step. So I think it's really great how you guys are promoting trades, apprenticeships, and other things like that. Yeah. So moving on to your experience before you came to the Board of Supervisors, you were a member of the Concord Police Force for over 27 years. What made you switch from being in police on the police force to serving in the city government? Well,
it started for me as a very young toddler. My grandfather was a county supervisor here in Contra Costa County, so I've been kind of on the campaign trail, as part of his campaign, as a small child. So I was always intrigued. You know how our family connections. So it's, hey, what Grandpa does is really kind of exciting. I want to be a part of that. And then I did. I chose a path of public service because that's the example I was seeing. My mom was a hospice nurse, so taking care of people in the final days of their life. It was always kind of public service oriented for me. Law enforcement just kind of fell into my lap in the sense of that would be my best way to serve. Within that, being a city employee, it's very important to be politically engaged. As an employee, you want to have the right decision makers supporting you. So I got active in politics through my labor group. And then, being engaged, I actually worked for Concord when they brought Access TV online. So I was the guy behind in the control room,
super cool.
watching every city council meeting, broadcasting it out to the community. And that I got to watch the workings of what was going on. I was employed there watching the workings going on. This was just my natural path. This is where I wanted to land. So when Pleasant Hill, which is my hometown, there was an opportunity to run for city council. I had the right support, the right timing, and it got me to make the move.
Yes.
And this was just for me the next logical step. I've always wanted to be engaged in this community. I am born and raised here. I've spent 90% of my life in Contra Costa County, and so it was going to be, I'm going to continue to serve the community I love so much.
Yeah, I really love what you said about community engagement there and how we need to be politically engaged. So now you are on the County Board of Supervisors. While it is a popular and important position in our county here, it might not get the recognition it necessarily deserves or needs. What approach would you take to better inform the public on the duties and kind of the role of the community of the County Board of Supervisors? And what steps would you take in just overall getting your message out there?
Well, you're a big help right here.
Appreciate it.
This is an opportunity to share that, because quite often I'm asked, what does a supervisor do? And it is. There's a lot going on in the county that impacts each and every one of us. If you've driven on our road, if you own property in this county, everywhere you go and everything you do, the county has some touch on that. And therefore, you need to understand what we do, we need to share what we do, and you need to engage with what we do, because we impact everyone's life in Contra Costa County. We have a healthcare system, there's law enforcement, our criminal justice system, our social service support networks. It just goes on and on and on. And then there's the responsibility of the infrastructure, the roadways, the flood control. We've seen weather changes like crazy in the last years.
Yes.
So we have an impact on the quality of life of every Contra Costan, and they need to understand that, and they need to engage. And that's one thing I'm really, really proud of. I have a great team that works with me and supports me, and they get a little frustrated because I'm the guy that never says no. So if you have something you want to share, You want to meet, you want to talk. Unfortunately, I'm wide open to that. And so I want to hear that community input, and I want to have that engagement. And so that's me getting out there and really engaging the constituents.
I love to hear that, because local government is so important. It really controls so many aspects of our lives. So a few final points. What would you say is the biggest concern facing our county moving forward?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big one.
There is. There's so much. I mean, we talk about housing and homelessness. And it's, when we talk about housing and homelessness, there's so many factors that go into that. So you can't just say we're going to stop homelessness and we're going to build housing and homelessness ends. No, there's issues with mental health. There's issues with economic, diversity and or access. So the quality of life and those that are experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity or food insecurity, there are so many factors that go in that. Part of that is education. Part of that is economic opportunity, access to health care. So it's really a broad umbrella to address, but the priority is yes, we need to address homelessness. We need to prevent homelessness. And I think we're on a successful path, but it's having that broader view that if we can address social and economic disparities, we can close the gap.
Absolutely, love to see that. So last one, how do you maintain your county responsibilities while also prioritizing your district and the members specifically in your district?
Yeah, that's hard because I do represent a district within the county. And I do want to prioritize and support them, but again, you have to have the broad view.
Yes.
What is in the best interest of the community? Every community, every city within our districts, within the county are a little bit different and have different needs. And so let's just say that I want to do the best for the whole county, but I also want to protect. So there's no easy answer. You asked me a hard question, I'm just going to say, because Concord has needs or Central County has needs. I want to address those, but I don't want to do it to the exclusion of another community that's facing challenges as well. So it's really having that collaborative, collegial body, the board, that works together to do the broader good, not specific to any one district.
Okay, and one last thing. If you had a message for a young 18-year-old who wants to be involved in politics and cares about local government, what advice would you give them?
Get engaged, make those phone calls, register to vote, actively vote. Talk to your elected leaders. There's nothing they want to do more than to reach out and share the word and drive interest and drive, the support for building a better world that we live in. So it really is engage. And if you don't know where to go, make those calls, reach out to people, reach out to your local leaders, reach out to your city council members, your mayors, your supervisor, your school boards. All of them are really eager to uplift our youth and get them engaged.
Appreciate it. Well, I would like to say thank you to Supervisor Ken Carlson for this opportunity. I would love to speak again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.